So after about 10 months in Iraq, in November, we were out on a patrol mission, and we were supposed to be providing security to engineers who were doing a route clearance, which is they were looking for stuff that had blown up before and looking for new stuff that was going to blow up. And it was during the second Battle of Fallujah, or maybe the first Battle of Fallujah in late 04. The insurgents had actually blasted 2 bridges on the main route in Iraq. So the fuel trucks coming from Mosul had to come through our base and then go southwest and then go south again back down to Fallujah. Because all that takes a lot of fuel for Marines, especially when they're all driving trucks and tanks and everything like that. So we were tasked to go out on this route, and in the last 30 days, there had been 28 explosions on this highway. And we knew that they knew we were using that road. So we had to go out there and find out what it was, what was going on. We went all the way down the route. We got to the turnaround point, which was well out of radio range of our base. And we're coming back, actually. And what was happening was they would have a hole where something had exploded in the road. They would go and put another mine in there and then patch it with fake asphalt to make it appear as if the road had been repaired. And you're talking, the convoys were 50, 60 trucks, fuel trucks, not driven by soldiers, driven by civilians from Pakistan or Sri Lanka or somewhere in the Philippines, people that are contracting to work in a war zone, not Americans. So they didn't know, they didn't care. And it's maybe 5 or 7 Humvees to escort 50 fuel trucks. They go missing, and you didn't even know where they went. So our goal was to make that route safe for those very vulnerable convoys. And we saw a freshly patched spot in the center of the road. I told the driver to go around it, and when he went off into the gravel on the side of the road, there were a couple of anti-tank landmines there. They exploded right underneath the passenger side where I was sitting, flipped the vehicle, which we were fortunately in an up-armored Humvee at that time, completely destroyed that vehicle and eventually caused me to lose both legs below the knee. I was knocked out for about 10 seconds after the initial blast, and then woke up, saw the bottom of my right boot sole right here about where my knee is, and knew that I had been very severely injured. So my guys, a couple of them ran up, started treating me. So, I remember everything that happened. I remember how badly I was hurt. I remember being worked on. I remember getting the IVs in me, waiting on the helicopter, which we had to wait 45 minutes on because there was no radio contact with our base. We were too far out. So we had to send an email through digital satellite communication and wait on someone to read the message and then dispatch a helicopter. So it was a long 45 minutes we had no medics, so I had no morphine. And, maybe that's a good thing that I had enough pain to keep me alert and alive. But obviously knew my body was going into shock. I could have easily have died, I believe, right then if they hadn't have put 3 or 4 IV bags in me while we were waiting. But my guys took care of me, and I lived. Asked the good Lord not to let me die in that country without seeing my kids again. And long journey after that, but I was saved and eventually had my right leg amputated that same day. Of course, a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, I had my left leg amputated, so became a double amputee. And the phantom pain is just something that it's really strong at first, and then eventually it goes away. But yesterday I was feeling like I stubbed my toe. It was kind of funny, but it's not pain, it's not scary anymore. So it's just the way it is. My buddy John Galena was driving the vehicle, so he also received the Purple Heart for that incident. And our other friend who was the gunner, he got completely ejected out. I tried to get him airborne wings, but they didn't think that was too funny. But we were fortunate that we all lived. And just fortunate that we were able. We only got that up armored vehicle the night before we went on that patrol, and we only got it because I made those two guys get up out of bed and go get it and change all the stuff from one truck into another, which is not easy in the military. I had 4 radios. I had all kinds of weapons, food, ammo, that everything had to be moved from one truck to the other. And they were pretty angry at me until about 11 a.m. when that happened.